Hey, Michaela Light here, and today I'm going to talk about entities, ghosts, and other creepy objects of a spiritual nature that you might encounter, and that I encountered here yesterday here at Healing House in Cusco, Peru. Yeah, we did a house cleaning here yesterday, and when I say house cleaning, I'm not talking about scrubbing floors, though that's a great thing to do too. I'm talking about a spiritual house cleaning. And we do this once a month because it's good to clean once a month, whether you need it or not. It's sort of like taking showers, right? Whatever that quote of Elizabeth I was that said she took a bath once a year, whether she needed to or not. But I think with spiritual cleaning, it's important to do it more than once a year. And once a month seems to be a good frequency. So what does that involve? For me, I connect to the light. So that's go up, go down, and bring light from the sky above and the earth below and expand my heart out as big as the universe. And I'll put a link on how to do that into the comments. And then I set the intention that I am going to help any entities in the space to go to the light. And usually I'll use sage or Palo Santo. I've got some Palo Santo here. Let's see if I can light it up so you can see what it looks like. I put a little candle off to the side here. It's a spiritual wood you get in Latin America, but sage is a plant you can get in the Western United States. Well, you can buy it everywhere in the US. They even started selling it in Whole Foods, I think. So the point is it makes an aromatic smoke of a spiritual nature. So here we have our Palo Santo. It's smoking away. Smells great. Woo! And I wave it usually in a kind of figure of eight motion. And I set the intention, let light and love clear and cleanse this space. I also will ask my angels to help with the cleansing. I forgot to do that yesterday. That was a little bit of a mistake. And I also was cleansing this whole side of the house on my own, which probably in retrospect was not a smart idea. I think it would have helped to have some other people there. And the truth is that humans, when they're connected to the light, are way stronger than any ghosts or entities. It's only when you're down or you're drunk or in some other vulnerable state, maybe you've had some trauma, that you're open to entities doing things with you. And by entity, I mean a spiritual entity. It's a spiritual being. It might have been a person who died. That would be a ghost. But entity could be other spiritual beings, could have come from other galaxies or other dimensions. And typically they're you can ask, is this entity of a high vibration or low vibration? The ones you deal with in houses and offices often are low vibration. And they can be, related to something that, bad that happened in that house. I mean, in this particular house, there was a doorway where I'm sure someone tripped up and broke a bone or was hit or abused. There was something nasty that happened there. And I could feel that there was something in that area. It just felt icky there until we'd done a lot of cleaning there. And we used to have a room here where there were ghosts in it. And, weird things would happen. There would be mischievous things, like things would break for no reason, or there would be weird noises and things. So we did a whole group clearing on that room. In fact, we cleaned it up. And we did a lot of saging in there. And at the end of the whole process, we had a party with 30 people with a lot of joy. And I also put a little MP3 music player in there. And just 24/7, I'm playing spiritual music. It's like Kundalini yoga chants I use, but any spiritual music works. And they just have not come back. So I'm very happy about that. So anyway, yesterday I cleaned the house spiritually on my own, and that felt good at the time. But I think I picked up some entities because this morning after sleeping, I noticed some pains in my body, one behind my heart, one in my right leg, and I still noticed one in my left eye. So I asked those entities to go, I told them, not asked, I commanded those entities to go to the light. Some of them were attached. The one in my leg was like a little eel. It kind of had its tail wrapped around part of my body. So I had to kind of throw more light into that and gently unwrap that. And sometimes I encourage them to go to the light. I mean, they really do want to go there. It's just they're a little afraid. So I'll get rid of this one in my eye a bit later. So that's some info on entities and ghosts. Most homes and buildings have these things. If you're sensitive, you can feel them. You know, some room feels bad, or some room's always cluttered, and it doesn't matter what you do, it seems to, you know, get messy again, or things break or whatever. That would be a sign that there's something spiritually wrong in that room. So doing a spiritual cleaning with love and light, or if you have Palo Santo or sage, that can help. Will help get rid of that. And, you know, as I said, there's nothing to be afraid of these things. If you've connected to the light, you are so much bigger than them that, you know, it's easy to do. I have sent probably 100,000 of these things to the light in the last few years, many thousands at a time. I've gone to battlefields where there've been a lot of lost people, because, you know, when people die violently and suddenly, they may not want to go to the light. They may not even accept that they died, and they kind of wander around. So it's, you know, I did something helpful to send them to the light, and generally most of them go pretty easily. Occasionally they need a lot more psychic work to get them to release. So anyway, if you have any questions or comments on entities and ghosts, put them in the comments, or questions on anything else. And please give me a thumbs up on the video. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe. And what would it take to create a fabulous day?